Breastfeeding is more than just feeding your baby. It's an act of love, connection, and nourishment. Your body, dear mamas, have been preparing for this moment since pregnancy, creating the perfect food designed just for your baby, mothers. So, breast milk is not just a meal. In fact, it is a protection. Breast milk is filled with antibodies that will strengthen the immune system of your baby, will reduce the risk of infection in your babies, will reduce and prevent allergies, and it will also try and prevent future diseases. And what's the benefit for you, dear mama? It will help your body heal. It will lower stress in your body and will also reduce the risk of breast cancer in the long term. But this journey isn't just about biology. It's about bonding, it's about closeness, and it is about learning together. So let us begin this beautiful, beautiful experience with confidence, with patience, and with love. Now, WHO and UNICEF have recommended that children initiate breastfeeding within the first hour of your birth and be exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life, meaning that no other foods and liquids are to be given to the baby, including water, in the first 6 months of the baby's birth. Now, on an average, most of the exclusively breastfed babies will be feeding for about every 2 to 4 hours. But there may be some babies who may feed as often as every hour at time. Now, this is often referred to as cluster feedings. Infants should always be breastfed on demand, that is, as often as the child wants. The first latch, how to get started. The first time your baby latches is a truly magical moment. Their tiny hands will try and grasp at your skin. Their mouth will instinctively search for nourishment. In fact, it is nature's way of ensuring their survival and your connection. Therefore, achieving a proper latch is essential for successful breastfeeding journey. It will also help to prevent any kind of discomfort for the mother as well. Please remember that a good latch is essential for effective breast milk transfer from the mother to the baby. Now, tell me, mothers, did you know that babies are born with an instinct to breastfeed? In the very first hour after birth, which is known as the golden hour, your baby will naturally seek out your breast. Now, this is referred to as something called the breast crawl. Now, how do you encourage breast crawl? The first thing is to do skin to skin contact. This will help to regulate the baby's temperature, heart rate, and also breathing. Be patient. Babies may take about 20 to 30 minutes to find the nipple, so give them the time. Thirdly, support your baby's head gently. Allow them to latch on their own whenever they are ready. So, mamas, a strong start in the first hour of birth can set you up for successful breastfeeding ahead. Now, let's understand how we can ensure a good latch for your baby. Now, to help your baby latch well, do the following. First, hold them close, tummy to tummy. Now, gently brush their lips with your nipple. Now, this will trigger their natural reflex action to open their mouth wide. Now aim for a deep latch. A baby should take in more than just the nipple. The entire lower areola should be there inside their mouth. Now proper positioning is therefore extremely important. Fourthly, their lips should be flanged outward and you should be hearing a soft sucking sound. Please remember that breastfeeding takes time and practice for both the mother and for the baby. So if it feels painful, don't hesitate to break the latch gently and to start again. A good latch will mean that there is comfortable feeding for both you and for your baby, dear mamas. Now, many mothers will often wonder, will I make enough milk? The answer is absolutely simple. Your body will produce as much as your baby demands. The more the baby nurses or drinks milk, the more milk you will have. Now, here are a few ways to ensure a steady milk supply. Feed on demand, not by the clock. Your baby knows when they are hungry. Nurse frequently. Nursing often, at least 8 to 12 times a day, will signal the body to produce more milk. Always empty your breasts. Ensure that the breasts are emptied as much as possible during each feeding. You may also consider pumping as well to keep up with the demand. Watch for hunger cues of the baby. Now, rooting, sucking on hands, or fussiness, they are generally are cues that your baby is hungry. Stay hydrated and nourished. Drink plenty of water. Eat a balanced diet which is rich in whole foods, proteins, and healthy fats. Your body will need energy to produce milk. Take rest and relax along with your baby. Increase in stress in life can really negatively impact your milk supply. Try to get as much as rest as possible. Trust your body and trust your baby. Together, you are creating the perfect rhythm. How to deal with common supply issues. Check your latch. Check if the baby is latching properly and if the baby is held in the correct position or not. If the baby is not drinking milk, the milk supply will definitely going to reduce. You can also consider taking galactagogues after consulting with your doctor or a lactation consultant. Now, galactagogues are natural food items which can help to increase the milk supply of the mother. Now, the most commonly used galactagogues which are readily available and found are fenugreek, which is methi seeds. Then we have ajwain, fennel seeds, moringa leaves, garlic, cinnamon, oats, etc. Now, mothers, if you are suffering from any kind of breast engorgement, please remember that frequent feeding or even pumping along with warm compress can also help a lot. So, try it out. Let's talk about the common breastfeeding challenges and their solution. Now, breastfeeding can have its challenges, but every problem has a solution. Sore nipples. Always check the baby's latch. A poor latch is often the culprit. Use a nipple cream or apply expressed breast milk for healing. Are you suffering from breast engorgement? If your breasts are feeling really full, and you can try nursing frequently or massaging gently, or even you can use a warm compress before feeding. Mastitis. If you are experiencing flu like symptoms and a hard red colored breast, keep nursing and seek medical support if needed. Mothers, you are not alone in this journey. Reach out to a lactation consultant or a doctor if you need any kind of guidance. Let's talk about pumping and storing breast milk. Pumping gives you a lot of flexibility while helping you keep your baby nourished. Now, mothers, while you are storing the milk, please ensure the following. Always wash your hands before expressing milk or handling breast milk. Use clean, sterilized containers such as glass or BPA free plastic bottles or milk pouches for milk storage. What are the storage guidelines? Freshly expressed breast milk can be kept in room temperature for 4 hours. Beyond that, the milk might get curdled. Store expressed milk in the refrigerator for up to 3 days, 4 days. If you don't plan to use the milk within that period, kindly freeze it. Breast milk can be stored in the freezer for up to 6 months. Make sure you write down the date of the expressed milk. Now, milk can also expand when frozen to store accordingly. Now, what are the things not to do with breast milk? Remember these few things. Always thaw the milk in warm water, never in the microwave. Please never boil the breast milk. It may burn the baby's mouth and can also reduce its nutrition. Check the temperature of the milk by dropping a few drops of the milk on your hands to first test what is the temperature of the milk before you feed the milk. Whether you are going back to work or you just need to take a break, pumping will help you and your baby thrive. How to breastfeed in public. Feeding your baby is completely natural, anywhere and anytime. But if you are feeling shy, mama, try the following. Wear nursing friendly clothes. You can also use a cover or a scarf if it makes you feel comfortable. Try finding a quiet spot to breastfeed. But remember, you do not need to hide. Also, practice at home. You may consider practicing at home so that it gets easier to breastfeed in public. Focus on your baby. Remember that breastfeeding is the most natural phenomena for both the mother and for the baby. So always focus on the baby first. Breastfeeding, dear mama, is your right. Feed your baby with confidence. So, what are the foods to avoid during breastfeeding? Now, there are some foods which may affect your baby. So, stop the consumption of these food, especially when you are breastfeeding. Drinking too much of coffee or tea, it can really make the baby fussy and can also cause acidity for you. Alcohol consumption. Breastfeeding mothers should not drink alcohol immediately before breastfeeding because small amounts can always transfer to the breast milk. Wait for at least 3 to 4 hours before breastfeeding. Spicy or gassy food or highly processed food. Highly processed food and junk food or food which have extremely high quantities of processed sugars and processed fats are not good for the breastfeeding mother and the baby. Breastfeeding mother should always try and minimize the consumption of such foods as it can negatively affect the quality of the milk as well. Some babies can also be very sensitive to certain foods such as garlic, broccoli, cabbage, and beans. So always listen to your baby's cues and adjust as needed. A proper diet is very important for the breastfeeding mother. A balanced diet will give you the energy. It will support milk production and will also help your baby thrives. So what are the key nutrients for lactation and breastfeeding? First is the protein. Protein aids recovery and also increases milk supply. Have eggs, lentils, dairy, nuts and non-veg. Calcium. For strong bones, add dairy, leafy vegetables, and fortified plant milk if you can. Iron. Iron helps to reduce fatigue and will also give you the energy. Try spinach, iron rich cereals, and beans. Omega 3 fatty acid. This will really support your baby's brain. So try and consuming flax seeds, chia seeds, fish, and walnuts. Vitamin D. Vitamin D will make your bones and immunity stronger. So go out in the sun, consume dairy, or consult your doctor about supplements. Vitamin B12. B12 is very crucial for the brain development. You will find it in eggs, fish, and cereals. Folate. Folate really promotes cell growth. So you can try consuming avocados, lentils, and green vegetables. Now, breastfeeding requires hydration because a lot of the breast milk is made up of water. So, always continue to be sufficiently hydrated. Drink lots of water from time to time, at least 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. And always try to consume some water before you are breastfeeding so that you do not feel exhausted after breastfeeding. What is the role of fathers during breastfeeding? Now, this clip is for fathers who want to be supportive towards the mothers in their breastfeeding journey. Now, breastfeeding can be really challenging. There are hormonal changes, sore nipples, sleepless nights, and self doubts. But fathers can provide words of encouragement which can definitely uplift a mother's spirit. Tell the mother that you are doing an amazing job. Be patient, be kind, and most importantly, be present. What you can do is to provide emotional support to the mother. Help with the feeding when the mother needs to take a rest, and help with the night chores and the night duties. Try to take on more of household responsibility. Learn about breastfeeding together so that you are able to support her in the best possible manner. Breastfeeding isn't just physical. There are a lot of hormonal changes, exhaustion, and self doubt. But your presence, dear fathers, can really be helpful and support the mother in having a successful breastfeeding journey.